All right, let's dive into a really fascinating idea from our source material today. And I gotta say, this one might just flip the way you see the entire world around you.
Let me just start by asking you a question. Seriously, take a second and think about this. What if the things that are truly valuable, the most precious stuff in our lives, weren't rare or expensive at all? What if they were actually the simple things we bump into every single day?
So this is it. This is the big idea, the core message from our source. It's so simple, but it's powerful, and it totally turns our normal ideas about value completely upside down. It says the most precious things are actually the easiest ones to get.
Now, I know what you're thinking. This goes against pretty much everything we're taught, right? I mean, supply and demand, rarity equals value. That's basic stuff. But the source material says, no, that's not the whole story. It presents this as a kind of fundamental truth of the universe, a gift that we just constantly overlook.
So you might be asking, okay, where's the proof for a claim that big? Well, the source argues the evidence is, and I mean this literally, everywhere. It's all around us. Let's just look at a few of these priceless yet super easy to get gifts. Let's start with the most obvious one you can think of, air. You're breathing it right now. We depend on it every single second. You know, you can go a while without money, but you can't go more than a few minutes without air. And the craziest part? It's just delivered right to us, totally free with every single effortless breath we take. And then you've got water. The source has this beautiful way of putting it. It connects the sky and the earth. It's what we're mostly made of, and it keeps pretty much all of life going. And for most of us, it's incredibly abundant and easy to get. Its actual value, you can't even put a price on it.
And of course, there's sunlight. It's the engine for almost all life on this planet. It gives us warmth, it grows our food, and it doesn't ask for a single thing in return. It just shows up every morning, a free gift. Then the source brings it to a place that's deeply personal, the love of our parents. For most of us, this is just a given. It's this profound foundational relationship that we just receive. We don't earn it, we don't buy it, it's just there. It's an unbelievably precious bond that we get without even trying.
Okay, so if all this priceless stuff is so easy to come by, then why don't we value it more? I mean, what's wrong with us? Well, the source points to a specific glitch in our thinking, a kind of cognitive bias that makes us look right past the treasures sitting at our own feet.
The source calls it a thinking error. And it's basically this. We humans are wired to get all excited about things that are far away, hard to get, or brand new. Meanwhile, the things that are close, familiar, and easy, we just take them for granted. You see this conflict playing out in our lives constantly. We'll chase some job opportunity halfway across the country instead of improving the one we have. We'll pursue some difficult, dramatic friendship while our own family is right there waiting for a call. We're just suckers for the shiny new thing, you know, while the familiar and dependable just kind of fades into the background.
And the source gives some pretty sharp examples here. Like, how often do we bend over backwards to make new friends, but we forget to text our own brother or sister back? Or think about how we praise celebrities from far away, but if someone from our own town becomes successful, we're skeptical, maybe even a little dismissive. The source even points out that famous figures like Jesus and Buddha, they weren't seen as anything special by the people they grew up with.
And listen, this isn't some new age idea. This is an ancient problem. The philosopher Laozi nailed this centuries ago. The great way is very plain, he said, meaning the best path is usually the most obvious one, but people prefer bypaths. We just love to make things complicated, don't we? We seek out the difficult, winding roads, totally ignoring the straight path that's right there in front of us.
So, here's the important part. How do we fix this? How do we break out of this bias and actually start seeing the value that's right under our noses? Well, the source offers a pretty simple, practical guide. The big mental shift you have to make is this. You got to stop thinking that wisdom and value are things you have to go find. You don't need a pilgrimage to a faraway mountain or to read 1,000 old books. It's all about learning to see what's already here.
So the source breaks it down into 4 really doable steps. 1. Learn from the wise people you already know. 2. Pay attention to the little things that happen every day. They're packed with lessons. 3. Do good for the people right around you, instead of dreaming about some huge gesture you'll make someday. And 4, and this is a big one, find wisdom in the simple stuff, like eating a meal or taking a walk.
Okay, let's wrap this all up. How do we take this cool idea and make it a real, working principle in our own lives? Because it's more than just an interesting thought, it can be a whole philosophy for living.
The source talks about this as a principle of least resistance. See, when we start valuing what's simple and available, life stops feeling like such a struggle.
We stop trying to swim against the current all the time. Instead, we learn to flow with it, and that's how we can turn that constant struggle into a real sense of happiness and ease.
I absolutely love this phrase from the source. It doesn't just call this a good idea, it calls it a life treasure. It's something to be protected, to be cherished, like a key that can unlock a much more open and fulfilling way to live.
And really, that's the ultimate payoff. The promise here isn't about getting rich or famous. It's about something way more valuable than that. It's about having a life that feels simpler, where your direction feels clearer, and your days are just genuinely happier.
So, I'm going to leave you with a question to take with you. After all this, what is one simple, easy to get, but precious thing that you are going to stop and truly appreciate today? Is it the air you're breathing? A quick call with your mom? The sunlight hitting your face? The choice, as always, is yours.